Hey guys, welcome to the Unleash podcast brought to you by Hidden Gin, where we talk about how to unleash your hidden potential. I'm your host, Yuri Diogenes, and we have a great episode to you today, featuring Derek Owens. Thank you for being on today, Derek.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Absolutely. So before we jump into today's topics, we would like to invite you to subscribe to this podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Also, you can find these podcasts at the Hidden Gin website, hiddengin.net. And if you live in the area and you have not visited Hidden Gin yet, you can grab a free trial pass at hiddengin.net. All right, Derek, let's get started here. So, for our listeners that don't know you yet, let's go through a brief intro about what you do, about your athletic life, and some of the things that you've done in this powerlifting world.
Sure. Yeah, my name's Derek. I'm the owner of Battle Axe Barbell here in Garland. I've known Greg for years now. He's been a big part of the scene here in DFW, so it's been a pleasure working with him. I currently am a promoter for about strongman shows, powerlifting shows, and I worked with Greg last year just on the side, and he invited me to be co-host of the Show of Strength, the 13th annual this year, and I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Oh, that's awesome. Any plans that you can reveal or give a glimpse of what's coming for the show?
So we're hopefully and more than likely this is going to be one of the biggest shows we've had yet. We're going to have a full-blown strongman competition and powerlifting competition this year. Trying to gonna have two platforms on the powerlifting show. It's going to be a great invite for strongman as well. And there's no to be the show of strength. Nothing better than powerlifting and strongman wrapped up into one.
Yeah, can you educate a little bit us, the listeners, about the divisions? Like for strongman, how do you create divisions based on weight class? How that works?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ones, the same as powerlifting, but mainly it's divided into different weight classes. And with the weight classes, there's even novice divisions as well and masters divisions. There's masters 40 plus and 50 plus. So there's an array of weight classes and different divisions that anybody can sign up for. They're very similar to the powerlifting divisions, but they're off maybe 5 or 10 pounds in some weight classes.
On the strongman master, do you do only by age or by weight as well?
Not by weight. Some competitions, if there are enough people to sign up, we will divide it into as many weight classes as we can basically divide. But usually, since there's not a large enough weight class, the masters division is just usually masters. So 40 plus doesn't matter if you're 200 pounds or 300 pounds. They're
Wow.
all kind of wrapped up into one. Yeah. So, but I've seen some animals out there. There's some big dudes that can hold their own in the masters division. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the strongman, do you have in mind already what is the obstacles, or you keep secret until the time?
So usually ahead of time when we create the show, we know exactly what events we're going to be doing, and they can be an array of different types of events from static deadlifts to some type of moving event. But sometimes in some shows, they do have a mystery event, and it does keep a lot of competitors on their toes.
Interesting. You don't have the same thing for powerlifting because powerlifting you really know what you're gonna do from the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah. Yeah, powerlifting's amazing in its own aspect. It's just always going to be a squat, a bench, and a deadlift. And it's a very technical sport, and it just maximizes on nothing but strength. And with strongman, you're able to bring a lot of different aspects from different sports. So you have a lot. You got to be dynamic, you got to be explosive, you got to be fast, and you got to be strong in strongman.
Yeah. When you go for the weights, like weight class, does the event itself it change? For example, let's talk about stones, right? Do you change the size of the stones according to the weight class?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So a lot of different competitions. So say if you're doing a stone medley, there'll definitely be different sets of stones. Some competitions, depending on the equipment they have available, they may have weight classes do the exact same weight, but the height at which they have to load the stones might be different.
Interesting.
So yeah, so a lower platform for a stone load would be easier for a lower weight class. And say if you want to keep the exact same amount of stones for every weight class, you would just increase the height to increase the difficulty.
Awesome. Your specialization is more on the powerlifting side, right?
Yeah, I have a background in powerlifting. Right now, I've really got my head aimed towards strongman right now. I've been a part of powerlifting shows though, but here in the DFW area, I've really been attacking strongman this year.
Okay. And on the powerlifting field, have you done many competitions? Talk about a little bit of your track record.
Yeah, so I've competed several times in the past couple years. I don't think I have any state records any currently anymore though, but I've done pretty well. Have some gold, some silvers, couple bronzes in the on the shelf too though. So I have a quite the background in powerlifting myself though, but yeah, it's been fun. I'm getting more involved with powerlifting here in DFW. I've been really involved with strongman, so I'm trying to take a step out and really dig into more powerlifting and help the sport grow as much as I can.
Do you see more people transitioning from powerlifting to strongman or the other way around?
Wow, yeah, that's funny you say that. Actually, I've been seeing a lot of powerlifters recently, even the big ones in the sport. You would say your influencers are online. A lot of them are making a switch to strongman. It's really exciting to see, though.
Interesting, interesting. Would
Yeah.
you say that powerlifting over the years can help build the foundation for a really good strongman performance?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the more static strength you have, of course, everything's going to be easier. So yeah, having a really good background in powerlifting can be a really great foundation to be an adequate and impressive strongman
Because
or
as
strong.
yeah, because as far as training and prep, we are talking about two different styles. So I'm assuming that the prep is not the same, correct?
No, not at all. So that's what's amazing about powerlifting is you're able to focus on the max effort in one lift. And so it's easier in quotations. It's easier to push yourself and focus on being absolutely strong. But with strongman, you have to balance so many things. You have to be, some events may be a max deadlift, and the exact same day, you have to go carry a 300-pound sandbag for max distance. So those things could take away from each other. So it's a constant balancing act in strongman. There are way more variables involved. Different things can help you or take away from your performance.
It's interesting you say that there's a lot of strong men in the master division because at the end of the day, lifting heavy and lifting heavy for a long period of time takes a toll on your joints and everything, right? How do you approach to stay healthy on that sport?
Man, honestly, what I do, what helps me is I take my recovery very seriously. So if I'm not focusing on a competition, I don't ego lift throughout the year. I take it easy. I stay really light, and those downtimes throughout the year allows me to put more into my actual prep and my peak, and it allows me to push myself as hard as I can when I focus on recovering just as much as I do training.
Oh, so you don't lift heavy all year long?
No, man, no. I wouldn't be doing what I do today if I lifted heavy year round. It's a constant balancing act. It's fighting those demons too, because some days you get to the gym and you just wanna max out on some deadlifts, but you're like, no, you gotta save it.
Yeah, interesting because you talk about ego lift, and I think that for a lot of folks that are so addicted to lifting heavy, it's kind of hard to not lift heavy, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. But whenever you're focused on the bigger picture and you're focused on your end goals, it's really easy to let that fire inside of you to simmer for a little bit. And when you have a bigger picture and you see yourself competing years and years into the future, it's easier to let those feelings sit aside. But a lot of these people who are ego lifting and they really want to max out in the gym all the time, they're looking for that fulfillment, that short-term fulfillment,
Yeah,
not that long-term goal. So
that's a good point. And how do you continue to build strength, lifting lighter, and recovering? Because I mean, you're gonna train all year round, and you're gonna still try to be stronger. So how will you get stronger lifting lighter?
uh, great question. So what you really could do is, or what I do, and what allows me to actually get stronger in my off season is focusing on technique. I drill down my technique in my off season, and you can't drill down on any technique going too heavy, right? No
Mm-hmm.
matter what sport you're doing, bodybuilding, powerlifting, weightlifting, no matter what you're doing, if you're going too heavy to focus on your form, nothing's actually going to improve. So in the off season, I slow down my movements. I focus on a lot of time under tension, of course, and I really hammer down my technique. So whenever I go back into my next strength peak, I'm ready. I'm better than ever, and I don't have to worry about my form not being there.
Do you also implement some sort of bands workouts during your off season?
Absolutely, yeah. So we do reverse banded movements or even counter banded movements that help increase the tension as you go through it, overloading. So yeah, there's a way of going heavier without going heavy like you normally would. So yeah, the utilizing of bands for deadlifts, squats, and even pressing is amazing to help your body really take that leap in off season.
Well, let's use a deadlift as an example. When you are in your off season and you do bands workout, are you still focusing on one lift, or like the reps are way higher?
I tend to not keep my reps too high on my main movements. Always want to keep those reps low because the body's maximizing on strength when the reps are always lower. So if I want to keep my weight low and I want to keep my reps low, I use bands, of course, and keeping more time under tension. So I utilize a lot of pause movements, and that in turn also helps with technique. So deadlifts, for instance, if I slap two bands across it, doing like a pause at the knee or double pause at the top will help build that time under tension. You're able to be more comfortable with the movement. You're able to overload at the top, and you're also able to focus on those muscles you may not be able to focus on when you're just completing normal movements that are a lot heavier.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And so your rep range is always gonna be like one, two, no more than four, maybe.
I keep everything no more than five on my main movements, or I try not to. And if anything is over five, it's way low. It's very, very light. I usually try to save my hypertrophy or my volume for my secondary movements or my accessory work. So say I'm doing an overhead press day, I keep my reps relatively low, so I'm able to focus on form. I'm able to focus on keeping a relatively heavy weight without being too heavy. And then my secondary movements, my accessories, is where I put that volume and I get that blood flow stimulation. I get that hypertrophy. I get that pump before I leave.
And you said in the beginning that you were focusing more on strongman this year. What really did you do to change your workout routine, your training routine to prep for those strongman competitions?
So, like we said earlier, recovery is really, really important to me. And what I've done in the past couple years is that I have trained heavier throughout the year. And what's really set me aside this year, and I feel like I am going to be potentially the best I've ever been, is just allowing myself to relax. Going to a 4 day training, 4 days of training a week. I throw cardio in there a week, and that's simply to help the body recover even faster. Having a heavy training day and going and sitting around for your rest of your time is only going to let that lactic acid build up. You probably know exactly what I'm talking
Hmm.
about. You got to get all that stuff moving around. So that's why I really owe a lot of this push, I would say, this year to just taking it easy more than going balls to the wall, as they say.
Yeah, yeah. But from the training regimen for strongman, which is so different, do you kind of prioritize some movement? How do you split like throughout the week, right? Do you focus on, lower body workouts in one day and upper body? How is that breakdown?
Sure. So yeah, usually the way it works is like day one and day two of the program. It's either up overhead or lower body day,
Hmm.
and those are usually going to be my heavier days of the week where I'm going to be pushing myself. And then day three and day four are usually accessory movements or secondary movements that I'm able to even focus on a little bit more technique, a little bit more time under tension, and really just push myself through that. But the main focus of every work week is probably going to be day one and day two, and that's where the most work is going to be done.
So you do 4 days of work and then you take three rest?
Yep. Yeah, so I usually I train 2 days straight, rest day, day three and day four for another 2 days, and I like to take another 2 days off afterwards.
That's very cool. And as far as nutrition, did you see any difference when you transitioned to powerlift to strongman? Did you you need to eat more, or do you have to increase carbs or increase protein? How that works?
Yeah, I'm actually eating more than I ever have, to be honest. With the, of course, because it's not just a squat, bench, deadlift. It's a lot of moving events. I got to carry stuff. I got to push stuff. I got to load stuff, and it's a lot of cardiovascular work.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely eating more than I ever have, to be honest.
How many calories are you talking about here? Like 3,000?
I'm close to 4,000 every day, almost 3,500 to 4,000 every day. So, and this is off season for me too, though. I should be getting over four, prepping for the Worlds this year and stuff like that.
Oh, so what is gonna be the worst? Uh,
Worlds, I'm going to Worlds for my for strongman, the biggest competition you could possibly do for weight class strongman. It's Worlds in November. It's actually happening in Daytona Beach, Florida, this November.
oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Any
yeah, yeah.
any
I went last.
any planning to go to Arnold one day?
Actually, we just got back from the Arnold a couple weeks ago. I had a client who competed. I didn't compete myself though, but he did, and he placed, I believe, fourth place. He got fourth place. He's
Wow,
actually,
that's awesome.
yeah, he was in the open division. His name's Stephen Good.
And
So yeah, watch out if you guys are out there. Look out for him. He's gonna make it big one day.
and so how was the experience there?
It was great, man. It was an amazing experience. It was honestly a little overwhelming at times. There's so many people there, super action packed. There's pros of all kinds. There's weightlifting, powerlifting, strongman. There's even professional pole dancing. There's some crazy stuff that was happening out there.
Now for the strongman at Arnold, do you have like divisions? Is this like amateur division and then pro division?
Yes, that's a great question. And they do have that. So they do have the amateur division and then they have the pro division. And to make it to the pro division, you have to qualify in the amateur division at least once. So there were a lot of people this year who earned their pro cards, and they're now going to be able to compete next year on the pro stage.
And on the amateur division is based on invitation, or anyone can sign up.
On the amateur division, you have to qualify at a Strongman Corporation Nationals or a Platinum Plus show.
Wow.
So there's steps to it. Yeah, there you can't just go straight to the top. You gotta work your way up there.
So you have to, when you say you have to qualify, is like you have to win like a sanctioned tournament?
Yeah, so the way it works is they have local amateur shows that
Right.
I put on year round here in Texas. You have to qualify in the top three of that to make it to nationals. And this year, actually, they've actually introduced another step to the process. So this year, moving forward, it'll be you have to qualify at an amateur show, you have to qualify at a regional show, you have to qualify then to at a regional show to go to nationals, you have to qualify at nationals to go to the Arnold amateur, and if you place at the amateur division, then you can go to the Arnold Pro.
Wow, it's a really tough road.
Yeah, yeah. It's making it more inclusive. It's getting competitors something to look forward to, more to work from, and it's also kind of weeding out some of the people that have gone to nationals or have gone to the Arnold on like a free ride. You know what I'm saying? So say they compete at a competition that doesn't have a lot of good competition, and they get an easy invite. And so this system that they're rolling out basically is going to just make that a little bit more difficult and allow only the best of the best to go to the top.
Does this flow of qualify is basically through one federation, or there are multiple federations?
This specific federation for the Arnold Sports Festival is through Strongman Corporation only.
Only.
So, and Strongman Corporation is arguably one of the bigger corporations, more legitimized in my opinion, more professional in the sense of the way they handle their shows and moving forward. But yeah, so to get to the Arnold, you have to go through the Strongman Corporation ladder.
Is the show of strength the one that you are going to sponsor a national qualifier?
So this show of strength is actually going to be an introductory competition for people that want to get involved with strongman. This is going to be an unsanctioned meet. It's called the Greenhorn, and this Greenhorn is a great way to introduce, say, somebody coming from a different sport or somebody who's never even tried strongman out before. So it's going to be a great opportunity for people to try strongman out for the very first time and see if it's a right fit for them.
Oh, interesting. So it's more, you're going to see a lot of novice there, right?
It's a lot of novice. Actually, I've had a lot of wind of some really, really strong people from other sports like powerlifting with like 2K totals, like insane strength. And it's just a great opportunity for them to try the sport out, see if it's right for them. So, yeah, you'll see a combination of people who have never competed before. And then you'll see people that are veterans and pros in other sports coming out there. So it's going to be a mix of a lot of different
Now you
people.
said something interesting. Veterans from other sports. So I'm assuming that veterans in strongman will not be allowed to compete. Is that a right assumption?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I won't allow them to, but it'll be much frowned upon if we had some veterans or some pros show up and spank some of these other people. It won't be fair though. I'm very confident though. We'll have whoever's competing there deserves to be there.
But if let's say you come up with a scenario that you know the guy, you know that he's a in a really high level and he wants to compete. There is any official guideline?
He'll have a very strongly worded conversation from me telling him that this isn't for him. Yeah, I'll personally let them know that they're not allowed.
Yeah, that's good because at least you keep like fair playing field, right?
Absolutely, and that's what matters to me, though. I want the sport to grow, powerlifting and strongman. I want strength sports as a whole to grow, and the show of strength this year is a great opportunity for both of that. So if you're trying to get interested in powerlifting or strongman, this is a great opportunity for anybody to come by.
Now let's clarify one thing. When on the show of strength, you're gonna have male and female divisions.
Yeah, absolutely. So for both strongman and powerlifting, there will be male and female. There'll be masters divisions. There's going to be, I think, an introductory novice division for the powerlifting. There's going to be great opportunities for anybody of all sorts of gender, sizes, and shapes to be able to compete.
Awesome. That's really good. I'm looking forward because every year I know that has been growing a lot, and it is good to know that you guys are working on something even bigger this year. Looking for is always. I know that Greg always puts a great show, and he has been really serious about this show. For the past this year will be the 13th year, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a big show. So, yeah, lucky number 13, you would say.
Yeah. Now, going a little bit more from the vision perspective, where you see the future of strength events going forward? What is on your mind? How this sport will continue to grow? Do you have any predictions for the future?
Man, my biggest goal. So I actually have about six other shows planned this year, and the sport is growing. It's honestly the strongman itself is the bigger, and powerlifting too. They're the biggest they've ever been right now, and we're not even close to the top either. Though the trajectory at which the sports are going, it's the sky's the limit in my opinion. So anything could happen. There's so many different companies that are coming on board. A lot of shows are being live streamed as well. They're adding more of a better experience to it for the spectators, for the athletes, and the volunteers that are involved as well. So it's a more inclusive. The promoters are having fun, and it's just being a more of a name brand type thing. And I'm really excited for both of the sports. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think is changing over time, and I believe is because of Arnold exposing so much the strong man, and of course having strong men like Eddie and Sean that are so very vocal on social media. Now you see people that are migrating to strongman and not worry so much about the aesthetics because I remember watching a documentary about strongman and one of the guys talking said, "Well, you're not gonna have six packs if you're a strongman because you need that big belly there." So
Yeah, yeah.
it's funny because people, it's part. I mean, you're gonna grow completely, right? It's not just your muscle; it's your whole foundation. Living in the social media where everyone wants to be lean and everything, it changed people' mind and perception. I think.
Yeah, so what's also crazy, it's funny you mentioned that the strongman itself has actually been evolving in its own way. A lot of the top dogs at the top aren't these big beasts that you're used to seeing. A lot of the one person a couple years ago, Novikov, he was 275 pounds and 6'3", and he won. He beat all the people that were 6'10", 400 pounds. And it's crazy to see the direction the sport is growing. Like I mentioned, it's evolving. It's coming into the 21st century when it comes to aesthetics and just basic athletic performance, in my opinion. And to be athletic in general, you can't be 400 pounds and out of breath just trying to walk somewhere, though. So we're kind of meeting in the middle with aesthetics wise. You're seeing a lot more strongmen that have defined muscles, and maybe not six packs yet, but you'll see those big power bellies.
Right.
You'll see more defined chest and back. It's kind of crazy, actually. You mentioned that.
Yeah, Hafthor is a great example. Hafthor is a great example of that. How he was dominant for many years, and he was very muscular.
Yeah. Yes, he definitely was. And he's in the best shape of his life now, too. And it just goes to show you that you don't have to, just because you're the biggest doesn't mean you're the best. So it's definitely cool to see a lot of the normal sized people having a chance at some of these big titles without being 6'10", 400 pounds.
Yeah, yeah. As you said, it's not only about size. I also believe, and you can confirm that there is a lot of technique in those movements. People don't realize, but carrying a stone, there is a lot of technique involved. It's not just carry the weight. Are you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right about that. And that's when it comes into play with a lot of these smaller people that are competing at World's Strongest Man. They're winning because they're more technically sound. They're more technically honed in on their skills instead of just relying on brute strength. They've been training technique and strength at the same time. So it's really crazy seeing how both sports are really evolving.
Yeah, yeah. And this is something that you also prioritize, as you said, focusing your off season and improving your technique. And yeah, I guess you do the same thing for strongman prep, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I home in on my technique constantly. You can add like 20, 30 pounds to a movement just by improving just the way you do it.
Really?
And
Wow.
yeah, it doesn't, like I've done it with my client because I'm a full-time coach as well, and I'll have people come in and say they have a 400-pound deadlift, but I can watch them deadlift. I'm like, oh wow, we can change a couple things, and I can easily add 50 pounds to that.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy how bad technique can hold you back so much.
Interesting. Wow. Like
Yeah.
like foot position, hand position, just some adjustments, right?
Very, very small, minuscule adjustments, and what's crazy too is everybody is so different. So what works for one person doesn't work for somebody else. So
True.
it takes watching them and studying them and understanding how the body works, how the mechanics of the human body adjust to things, and how you can make it better, just in small little ways. Rotating the elbow, getting more external leg drives, things of the such that help get more muscular recruitment to the compound lift.
Interesting. To wrap up, let's just give a general advice for the lifters that are trying to improve their deadlift, right? What you would say they should focus on when they are trying to improve their PR in deadlift?
Man, one thing I was taught what's a really great cue is a lot of people who deadlift, they don't utilize their feet. And a great cue you should think about while you're deadlifting is think about hole punching the ground with both your legs. Just think about you pushing the floor directly down, and it'll give you that perfect trajectory and that the perfect center of gravity to really line up your muscles and joints.
Yeah, that's a great tip because a lot of people they they leverage way more back, arms, and neglect the fact that they should be leveraging their quads, their hamstrings, their
Yep.
feet, as you said, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it comes down to basically if you're sitting on your heels too much, you might be using too much of your back. In the same way, if you're leaning on your toes too far, the exact same thing. So the cue of really thinking about hole punching the floor with your feet straight down is a great way to really line all the joints and the leverages upwards.
That's awesome. Great tip, Derek. And thank you very much for your time today, for joining the show. Amazing tips we are looking for the show of strength. And Hopefully, will be successful and even bigger than the previous years. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm excited. Working with Greg, there's no doubt this is going to be the best one yet.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining Unleash Podcast. See you again next time.